A person begins a project at home. It could be a small furniture build, a storage solution, or a repair that has been delayed for weeks. The tools are ready. The space is cleared. But one detail slows everything down. The plan is missing, incomplete, or scattered across different places. In everyday situations, access to build plans depends on a chain that often goes unnoticed. A design might be saved on a phone, stored in an email, bookmarked in a browser, or printed and left somewhere in the house. Each of these methods relies on something external: a charged device, a stable internet connection, a working printer, or simply the ability to find the right file at the right time. This system works most of the time because it is flexible. People move between devices and platforms without thinking much about it. But the structure behind it is fragmented. Files are stored in different formats. Some are visual, others are written. Some are detailed, others are incomplete. The organization depends entirely on the user's memory and habits. When any part of this chain breaks, the process slows down. A phone battery dies during setup. A file cannot be opened because the format is unsupported. A key measurement is missing from the printed page. Internet access becomes unreliable, and the original source cannot be reached again. In these moments, the project stops, not because of a lack of skill or materials, but because the information needed to continue is not accessible in a stable way. To reduce this kind of dependency, people tend to adopt different categories of solutions. Some rely on fully digital systems. These include cloud storage, design apps, and project management tools. They allow plans to be updated and accessed from multiple devices. The advantage is flexibility and scalability. However, they still depend on power, connectivity, and device compatibility. Others move toward physical formats: printed plans, notebooks, or binders organized by project type. These systems remove the need for screens and connectivity. They are stable and easy to reference during hands-on work, but they can become difficult to update. Changes require reprinting or manual edits. Over time, they may become outdated or disorganized. There are also hybrid approaches. These combine digital storage with physical backups. A plan might be stored online but also printed and kept in a workshop. This adds redundancy, but it also increases the complexity of managing versions. The user has to ensure that both formats stay aligned. Within these categories, one format begins to stand out as a more structured approach. It is not defined by a specific device or platform, but by how the information is organized and accessed during the project setup phase. This is a home system designed specifically for accessing organized build plans in a consistent and repeatable way. This format focuses on reducing fragmentation. Instead of storing plans in multiple unrelated places, it centralizes them into a single, accessible system within the home environment. The goal is not just storage, but usability during real work conditions. The system usually begins with a collection of build plans that follow a consistent structure. Each plan includes a clear materials list, with quantities and dimensions specified. There is an assembly layout that shows how components fit together, often using simple diagrams or step-by-step visuals. If the project involves electrical or mechanical elements, there may be basic wiring or power setup instructions. Component placement is described in a way that can be followed without needing additional interpretation. These plans are then organized in a way that matches how projects are actually executed. For example, they may be grouped by category, such as furniture, storage, or repairs. Within each category, they can be arranged by complexity or by the type of tools required. The organization is physical, digital, or a combination of both, but the key is consistency. Access is designed to be immediate. In a household setup, this might mean a dedicated space where plans are stored and reviewed before starting a project. It could be a simple binder system, a tablet with offline access, or a printed archive arranged for quick reference. The format does not depend on a single method, but on the principle of reducing steps between the user and the information. What makes this approach structurally different is that it treats build plans as part of the tool set, not as separate resources. Just like a saw or a drill has a fixed place and function, the plans are integrated into the workflow. They are prepared in advance, verified for completeness, and stored in a way that supports immediate use. In some cases, this format exists as a finished setup. A person might purchase or assemble a ready-to-use system that includes pre-organized plans and a method for accessing them. In other cases, it is built from scratch using available resources. A collection of guides is gathered, standardized, and arranged according to the user's specific needs. Built-from-plan systems often include detailed documentation. These guides typically provide a full list of materials, including standard sizes and alternatives. They show how each part is assembled, often with visual references that match real-world conditions. If power or mechanical elements are involved, the setup is explained in a straightforward way. The arrangement of components is described so that the user can replicate the structure without needing additional design work. This kind of system is not intended to replace all other methods. It works as an additional layer. For someone who frequently builds or repairs at home, it reduces the time spent searching for information. It shortens the chain between the decision to start a project and the ability to act on it. It can be useful in situations where consistency matters, repeating similar builds, teaching others, or working in environments where interruptions are common. By having a stable reference point, the process becomes less dependent on external factors. At the same time, it does not remove the need for flexibility. New projects may still require research. Some plans may need to be adapted, but the core structure remains stable, providing a reliable starting point. There are existing guides that document how to set up this kind of system in detail. They outline how to organize plans, what information to include, and how to maintain the structure over time. For those exploring this approach, one such reference is often included in the video description, offering a step-by-step example of how the format can be implemented in a practical way.